Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Michael Darren. The reason I wear like a different color tie is to differentiate between this, or that. There is a reason for it. Or it could be having this be this way and then that way. Sort of kind of the same thing. So this is part 2 of part 1 and 2. Speaking of what we were last time, what I was talking about was the origins of Christianity, and also brought up the almost taboo subject of, was Jesus an actual figure, flesh and blood? Many professors, prophets, priests, poets will say yes, of course. How could you think other? And there's many scholars and scientists who are just as credible, who will say the opposite, that yes, this Jesus was an amalgamation of anywhere up to 4, 5, 6 different characters, and they were amalgamated into one. This theory goes back very far. I didn't make this up. It's something many people don't hear about or even would like to think about or wrap their head around, but sorry, it's the way it is. Oh, but I got to tell you, what really gets me are the people that go to church on Sunday, maybe twice a month, or they just started and they're saved and they're great people now, when in reality their whole life they were a bitch or a bastard, and probably still are. But because you go to church, you're okay. You're not okay. You're still that, and that's that. In 70 AD, under the orders of Nero, he sent his best general, Vespasian, to Jerusalem to put down the Jewish rebellion, which was constantly happening in Judea or Palestine at the time. This is Nero. We all heard of Nero, right? Okay, so this happened in around 66 AD. Yeah. So he sends Vespasian. Vespasian does a rough job on the Jews, but they all cram into Jerusalem, and that's what they did. And Jerusalem was surrounded by a huge wall. Today we know it as the Western Wall. That's what was left of the wall of that goes back 2,000 years. That's why it's so holy to the Jews. Anyway. Okay. So. And Titus has to go back to Rome to quell the rebellion because Nero dies and there's a bunch of emperors, and so Vespasian leaves his son Titus to finish the war. And he does finish it. He destroys the Jews in 70 AD. He knocks down 99% of the wall. He kills and slaughters thousands upon thousands of people. Crucifies thousands upon thousands of people. The Jews of the time who were known as Messianic Jews, I believe, were given every opportunity by these wicked Romans. You know, the Romans are always portrayed as the bad guys, but they gave them every opportunity to say, hey, you know, every opportunity to come to their senses and realize you are not going to win. You're going to get slaughtered. And that's what they did. So, around this time, while the war was happening, there was a man named Jesus running around preaching pretty much the same things Jesus Christ did. Christ means Messiah, by the way. And I think I'll leave it here, and we'll begin this in part 3 tomorrow. This all comes to bear. This is the end, the beginning of the end. It's really an end in a way. It gets ended for good in about 160 AD by Hadrian, when he throws every Jew out. They're not allowed back in Jerusalem, and they don't go back until 1940. After the 7 Days War, do they not have a Jewish homeland? After World War II, there's a lot to be said about that too. Put World War II and the things that happened in World War II with the fact that after World War II, the Jews got a homeland, and they deserved it. They deserved it. And they got it. So let's end it here, and thank you for watching, and see you next time.